Derek Dennis took to Twitter on Monday stating, quote, "I regret signing with Edmonton. Now I got to deal with this BS," end quote. Dunkster, what do you make of this situation?
Well, it appears Derek Dennis would like to get let out of his contract or traded from the Edmonton Elks. He did actually sign with the team not too long ago, Haji. I believe it was in January. But at that time, he felt like he was going to go in there and be a starting offensive lineman for the Elks. Things change. Sir Vincent Rogers is healthy, and Dennis flat out just doesn't want to go in there and be a backup and also play for the money that he signed for on that contract that's under $100,000.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody this week. The quote made its way into Insider Talk, so check that out on the site if you haven't already. But this is something that Brock Sunderland in Edmonton likes to do. He likes to offer vets who are on the shelf 2-year deals with, a relatively cheap year one and then a bigger year two. Why? Well, because it's the CFL and it's really easy to renegotiate the second year of the deal when it comes around anyway. And I think honestly, Dennis probably should have just waited, because right now, if you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats who, don't have Chris Van Zyl on the field right now, if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders who have lost, let me check. Oh yeah, everybody on the offensive line, having a guy like Derek Dennis in the clubhouse, I think would be really nice. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of he shouldn't have signed the deal. It was a mistake, and he's going to have a hard time potentially getting out of the deal because Edmonton knows that other teams want him.
That's right. And from Edmonton's perspective, you're talking about competition. So you have the guy under contract. It doesn't cost you anything on the salary cap. So why not hold on to his rights? And he did, after all, sign the deal this year. On Dennis's side, you can understand because he's not wanting to play in Edmonton, but the club is under no obligation to release him. Now, Dennis could have his agent or even himself look through the contract and see if there's any sort of way to get out of it. Or the other way to go about it would be to play a nice political game, let's say with Brock Sunderland and the Elks, to get out of this contract. Stating that it's BS and that you got to deal with it now might not be the best way to force their hand, but if you kick and scream enough, maybe you'll get loose.
Maybe. And let's also just talk for a moment, just league wide, big bodies are coveted right now, whether it's guys like Brennan Labatt stepping away, a lot of veteran offensive linemen retiring. Trey Rutherford was a huge loss in Montreal, was a young future all-star on that offensive line. We've seen so many big guys step away, whether it's Jacoby Cofield, who was the backup tackle in Saskatchewan in 2019. And even Thaddeus Coleman, age 36, he's still got a home. He went to Edmonton after they lost Tommy Draheim to retirement. So if you're over 6'3" and you are over 300 pounds right now, throw your resume at somebody involved in the CFL, because there's a decent chance you'll get signed, first of all. And secondly, there's suddenly a huge market for Dennis, which there wasn't in the winter, just because, as we said, Dunkster, everybody needs these big bodies. And frankly, I think that's why we will see him get traded at some point. But if I'm Edmonton, there's no way I'm cutting him for free so he can go help Saskatchewan or Hamilton or somebody else. I'm waiting for somebody to make me a really nice offer in the trade market, and I'll take my asset and go about the rest of my day.
To me, that's the way it gets done. And if you're Sunderland sitting there, you're thinking, I'm not just going to let Dennis walk to potentially a West Division team that we're going to compete with and try to make the playoffs against. I want something to value.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more, Dunkster. And that's why I don't think we've seen the end of this chapter, but hopefully we see Dennis play in 2021, because he makes the league certainly a more interesting place. He's a big character. We'd love that.